We're going to welcome back everybody here for some more Out of the Park baseball. It's the 16th of May in 1871. It's the opening season of the Professional Baseball Players League. And we should have a good one here for you tonight. It is going to be the AL leading 5-2 Boston Red Stockings against the NL leading 3-1 New York Mutual. Should be a great matchup here for everybody. Um, really top of the table. Thank you for the shout out in the intro. Absolutely, you're welcome, baseball fan. Thank you for convincing me to bring Out of the Park back because it's been a lot of fun, and it scratches that commentary itch quite well that I have. Let's go over your starting lineups for tonight's game, starting with the visiting New York Mutuals. Batting off first will be second baseman Mike McGarry, who's batting .278 so far this season. He's got 3 RBIs. And then batting second will be Steve Bellin, the third baseman, batting .294. He's got 6 ribbies. That's almost the team leading. That's second on the team. Batting third will be catcher Cal McVeigh, batting .368 so far this season. Batting fourth will be left fielder Henry Burrows. He's batting .200 with 3 RBIs so far this season. Ronnie Walters, the pitcher, will bat fifth. He's batting .312 with 5 ribbies for a pitcher. Very good performance from him. He has the second highest on base percentage or on base plus slugging (OPS) in the team. Art Allison, center fielder, is sixth. He's batting .333 so far. Thank you for the lurk, Leo. Appreciate it, man. Two ribbies for Art Allison, batting .333. Charlie Pavor, batting .412. Best hitter on the team so far for the New York Mutuals. He'll bat seventh, the right fielder, with 7, a team leading 7 RBIs so far this season. Pete Donnelly, shortstop, he'll bat eighth. He is currently batting .235, 3 RBIs in his 17 plate appearances so far. And then George Hubel, the pitcher, batting .118 with 1 RBI. He will bat ninth. For the Boston Red Stockings, batting first will be first baseman Bub McAtee. He's batting .414, which is the team high for Boston. He's got 3 RBIs so far this season. Warren White, the shortstop, bats second. He's batting .208 with 1 RBI. Second baseman Tom Carey will bat third. He's hitting .286 so far with a team leading 7 RBIs. Are these accurate dates and games and lineups, pitchers historically? Because I do that with my 1901 set. I play all the teams in OOTP Go. Okay, so are the players accurate? Yes. Are the teams accurate? Yes. They are accurate to 1871. However, we allow deviation, meaning, how depending on the option that you play in your out of the park baseball, how you set it up, we allow. We're basically just using the real names and the players. These players might not have all been historical Boston Red Stockings players. Bub McAtee could have been on a different team. The other setting that we have set up is that the regens that come through will be historic players, but they may not be. They may not perform to the same historic greats that they achieved. So, for example, we are in 1910 going to get Babe Ruth. We don't know if he's going to be one of the best hitters of all time or if he's just going to be another average baseball player. So the historical accuracy is set in terms of using the player names and the team names, as well as the ground names and their capacity and all of that. But we don't know if the players are going to produce the same levels of performance. So their development paths and their development caps and their potential is all randomized. Like a Red Sox. We are going to get the Red Sox, yes. The Boston Red Stockings will eventually turn into the Atlanta Braves. But we don't, like I said, we don't know, if Shoeless Joe Jackson is going to be one of the best players to play the game. We don't know. Their development and their potential is randomized. It's literally just the player name coming through. So we'll say. I mean, they'll be accurate to the position. Like Babe Ruth is not going to be a pitcher, but um, we just don't know the level of skill that he's going to have in batting, essentially. So that's the way we've set up the save. So a little bit of deviation from historical, but the player names and the team names and the team grounds and all that will be there, yes. Right. Continuing with the lineup, batting fourth for the Boston Red Stockings will be left fielder Andy Leonard. He's batting 300 so far with 1 RBI. Al Reach, center fielder, will be the batting fifth. 323. He's got 6 RBIs so far this season. He's off to a very, very good start. Tommy Beals, the right fielder, will be batting 6. He's got 5 RBIs and batting 345. Henry Kohler will bat 7th. He's got 1 RBI, batting 276 so far this season. Joe Batten, the third baseman, will bat in 8th. He's got 1 RBI. He's hitting 042, which is the weakest of any player in today's starting lineups for either side. And then pitcher Asa Bernard will bat 9th. He is batting 238 with 2 RBIs. On the mound for New York will be Riley Walters. He's 3-1 this season with a 1.54 ERA. He's got a .94 WHIP as well. Asa Bernard takes the mound for the Boston Red Stockings. He is 4-2 with a 2.55 ERA and a 1.68 WHIP. It is a morning game here at the South End Grounds, number 1. 771 in attendance, 63 degrees out, wind slightly blowing, and we are going to be ready to get underway between this one. Asa Bernard on the mound, and it'll be Mike McGarry at the plate. Here we go. Boston welcoming New York. The start of the rivalry. Here's the first pitch from Asa Bernard. That is going to be a called strike on the inside part, and that is 0-1. First pitch coming up, indeed, and now here's the 0-1. That is lined. That's a base hit. A leadoff hit for New York as Mike McGarry gets aboard here with a single. Take me out to the ball game. We are going to play that come the 7th inning stretch, of course, but we are. I love the enthusiasm block. I do like the fact that you don't mind baseball. We are primarily a Football Manager streamer, and obviously that audience is mainly European, and the amount of people that come here and just go, I have no clue, and they just leave because it's baseball. It's astonishing. Right, Steve Bellin, the third baseman, up to the plate. Runner on first. Nobody out here. Asa Bernard getting ready to deliver the first pitch to Bellin. He is going to lay down a bunt. Are they going to go to second? They are. They get the lead runner. They can't get the second. But it's going to be, they have it listed as a sack bunt. But would that not be a fielder's choice? I don't know. But I'm going to say it's a sack bunt. And out at second base will be Mike McGarry. That's a big help. They tried to bunt the runner over with 1 out. And it did not work for them. Nice force play by Boston. I agree. It wasn't a very particularly well-aimed bunt, though. That went right back to the mound. Asa Bernard didn't nearly have as much difficulty throwing in time to second base. You may watch because you don't mind what game it is. It's free to make it entertaining. I appreciate that, Blockbuster. I appreciate that a lot. It'll be Cal McVeigh up next. He is ready to take the first pitch. Here he comes. That is swung on and missed. And it is 0-1. 0-1 pitch to McVeigh is taken inside for a ball. The throw over to second and safe is Steve Bellin. He's got himself a stolen base. And he'll do what he couldn't do with the bat. And that is get over to second base. He couldn't deliver Mike McGarry to second, so he'll steal it himself. And it's 1-1. You should. That's a fun game. I don't have a PlayStation, so I wish that. I honestly think Sony would have the same kind of. It might not be to the same effect, but you know how Sony brought Stellar Blade to the PC, and like it I don't know if those. No, I've been playing Stellar Blade offline. It's an amazing game, but Stellar Blade came out for the PS5 last year, and they brought it to PC this year, and it blew away. Within the opening 2 to 3 days, it blew away Sony's record for a release on the PC in terms of number of titles sold or number of copies sold. I mean, it was insane, the records that Stellar Blade broke for Sony's records. So I feel like if they ever did that with the show, they would definitely break. I mean, there's a lot of baseball fans that would love to own that on PC. A lot. I don't know if it would break the records like Stellar Blade did, but they would. I think they have a huge untapped market for it. That's for sure. Right, it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed on the pitch on the inside, and now it is 1-2 to Cal McVeigh. Here's the 1-2. That's swung on, grounded over to shortstop. Oh, he's fumbled it, and Cal McVeigh is aboard via the error. E6 is the play. He's fumbled it. And that is shortstop Warren White getting the error. And this is, that is first and second now with 1 out. I forgot these guys were very fast gloves, had those big brown gloves, hard to catch, a lot of errors. They didn't even, in the 1871 era, I thought they didn't even have gloves. I thought it was barehanded still. And yeah, it is a lot of errors in 1871. We are going to see that throughout the course of tonight, I think. I think last game I only had about 5 errors. I haven't put the VOD up on YouTube yet. I think that's coming this week. But I think we only had 5 errors combined, and that's considered low for 1871. Right, Henry Burroughs, left fielder, steps in. Fresh off the E6, runners on first and second, 1 out. Here's the first pitch. That is taken right down the chute for a strike. It was also underhand. No gloves at all, no batting gloves either. Probably had to hurt your hand a lot. Yeah, it was also underhand. So like pitchers, and you might see it, and you will see it probably over the course of this season. But pitchers threw like 200 pitches. So there was a lot of that too. Right, here's the 0-1 pitch. That is check swing. Did he go? It doesn't matter. It's in there for a called strike on the outside part of the plate. I thought he swung. It looked like he swung to me, but it won't matter. The ball's over the plate, and here's the 0-2. Grounded over to second. Over to short, but he can't get it. It's a throwing error. It's an E4. And now everybody's safe. That is Tom Carey with the error. And that brings up pitcher Riney Walters to the plate with the bases loaded. He is currently batting .312. He's got 5 RBIs. And the bases are loaded with just 1 out here in the top of the first. Here's the pitch. That is taken low below the knees for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Taken for a called strike, and it's 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's below the knees again. Ball 2. 2-1 the pitch. Here it is. Low, almost in the dirt, and it's 3-1. It's a hitter's count to pitcher Riney Walters. The 3-1 swung on. That's lined into left field, but drifts foul. And now the count is full. 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch to Riney Walters. That's popped up in the infield. Infield fly roll, maybe? No, it's in foul territory. It won't matter. It is going to be the out. So, Riney Walters cannot bring anybody home. The runners stay. And it is currently now bases loaded with 2 outs. At the same time, I'm also talking with my girlfriend, so multitasking. Bases juiced for New York. Nice. There we go. Yeah, bases are, definitely. Art Allison, center fielder, comes up. 2 RBIs, batting .333. Chance to add to that RBI total. Big at bat here for Allison in the top of the first. Swung on and missed at the first pitch. It's 0-1. Is your girlfriend a baseball fan? Mine's not a sports fan at all. I can't talk baseball with mine. It just washes over her. Right, here's the 0-1. That's below the knees, 101. The 1-1 pitch. That's inside and low. Ball 2. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, line foul down the first base side. Right. The 2-2 pitch to Art Allison. Lined right at the short. Oh, it's through. Base hit. It's a base hit. Art Allison with an RBI single. Coming in to score will be Steve Bellin. Cal McVeigh goes to third. And Henry Burroughs ends up at second base. And the New York Mutuals will tack on the first run of the game here. Bear with me one sec. Right. Yours not a baseball fan. She's great at dancing. Mine's good at that too. She's also a gym rat. A complete total, and I am like the opposite of that, which is just hilarious. We're actually really big opposites when you think about it, right? Right fielder Charlie Pabor comes up to plate. The team leading 7 RBIs. And he's been given a situation with the bases loaded here. 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. That swung right back up the mound. Base hit. He's going to add to his total. It's a fielding error as well. And Charlie Pabor will bring home an RBI, and the fielding error will bring home another run. Coming in to score will be Cal McVeigh. Coming in to score will be Henry Burroughs. Going to third will be Art Allison. It's an E8, which is Al Reach. Who gets credited for the error, unfortunately for him. And it is 3-0 New York. Pete Donnelly, the shortstop, now up. Runners in scoring position. 2 outs here. Yankees fundamentals, their defense, nice. I saw that they've had a big blip of form, essentially, recently. Here's Pete Donnelly. The first pitch to him, that is inside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's taken away. Check swing, but he didn't go. And it is 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on. That's lined into right field. Is that going to drop? It looks like no, it won't. And that is going to retire the side. So 3 runs on 3 hits, and they leave 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the first. It is 3-0 New York. You're glad we won the series? I am too. Don't get me wrong. Right, as always, we're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Right, welcome back. Bottom of the first here in Boston. New York Mutual's adding 3 in that first inning. It's going to bring up Bub McAtee for Boston. He's going to lead it off. And that'll be Riney Walters taking the mound for New York. Here's the first pitch to Bub McAtee. That is going to be below the knees for a ball. Here's the 1-0. High and in, ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That is taken for a called strike. And it is 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Bub McAtee. That's fouled back behind home plate, and the count will go to 2-2. Cap Anson. He's definitely playing. Where is he at, Cap Anson? I believe we've caught. I believe he's in the saves in 1871. Cap Anson. Cap Anson. Cap Anson. Cap Anson. Let me see. I don't. He's not coming across any of the scorecards already. Cap Anson. Cap Anson is at the Rockford Forest Cities. I don't know where he's at IRL. I don't know where he was at IRL because again, you draft the players in the opening year. But he is on the in our save. He is on the Rockford Forest Cities, which is oddly enough the team I manage. Although I'm letting the AI do the actual games because apparently I'm terrible at them. Right. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Bub McAtee. Swung on, that's lined in towards the center field. That'll be a base hit, and both teams get their leadoff runner aboard in this game. That'll bring up shortstop Warren White. Runner on first, nobody out. Here's White. This is a bunt, ground ball over. They throw it on to first. That'll be the sac play. It'll be 5-3 on the putout. But they do get Bub McAtee over. In 1871, Cap Anson, then 19 years old, debuted in professional baseball's first major league, the National Association. He played for the Rockford Forest Cities, a team in that league. This marked the beginning of his long and impactful career in baseball via Wikipedia. Well, believe it or not, he is actually at the Rockford Forest Cities for us as well in our save. So at least that's had some historical accuracy. Rockford right now are 2-4. Actually, we might be 2-5. In all honesty, it's been a while since we've done a Rockford game. So, right, that brings Tom Carey to the plate, the second baseman. Here's the first pitch to him. That's grounded over towards second base. On to first in time. And that retires the second out of the inning. Bub McAtee does go over to second, but now with 2 outs, getting him home was going to require a base hit. Good out for the Red Stockings. The New York Mutuals, beg your pardon. That's going to bring up left fielder Andy Leonard. Andy is currently batting 300 with 1 RBI in this game. He's got a chance to add to that total here with a runner on third. 2 outs here. Here's the first pitch to him. Swung on, that's lined into right field. That is going to be a base hit. And Andy Leonard is aboard with an RBI single here in the bottom of the first. Coming in to score will be Bub McAtee. And the Boston Red Stockings have answered back with a run. That will bring up center fielder Al Reach. Al Spalding also played for Boston this year. I think something is named after him today. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. I can see what team he's on real quick if you want. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. We've definitely commentated every team in the league so far. Now, where they've started, if those players have started, I don't know. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. Al Spalding. I'm not coming across him just yet. I have Al Reach. He's at Boston. He's a pitcher for Boston. Okay. That might be why I don't have him on any of the cards. I have the two Boston pitchers are Dick McBride and no, I'm sorry, the two Boston Asa Bernard's the main Boston pitcher. Do I have another one by any chance? Al Spalding is at the Cleveland Forest Cities in our save. He went to Cleveland in our save. But yes, he is in the game. Right. Here's Al Reach, the center fielder. First pitch to him. That is a called strike, and it's 0-1. 0-1 to Al Reach. That is taken for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Al Reach here. Throw over to first, and the runner is back in time. Here's the 0-2. Swung on. That's lined into left field. That's a base hit. Reach gets down. He's got himself a single as well. Leonard's going to go to second base. And that is going to be first and second now with 2 outs. Tommy Beals, the right fielder, will be up next. He's batting .345 with 5 RBIs so far this season. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded in towards the gap. And it's through to right field. It's a base hit. And now Boston has loaded the bases themselves here in the bottom of the first inning. Henry Kohler will be due up. Batting .276 with 1 RBI. Bases loaded. He is going to line that deep into left field, deep into right field, right at the right fielder, and that retires the side. 1 run on 4 hits, and they leave them loaded here in Boston. We go to the top of the first, and it is 3-1 New York. Due up first for the New York Mutuals will be first baseman George Ewell. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Welcome back. Top of the second here in Boston. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's 3-2. I didn't realize it's 3-2. I wrote 3-1. I thought they did 3. I didn't realize on the last single that the runner from second scored. Okay, so it's 3-2. My bad. Okay, I'm gonna mess up a lot. Just the nature of getting used to this. Right. Astor Bernard back on the mound, and we've got George Ewell here to start the bottom or the top of the second. Here's the first pitch to him, and that is swung on and missed. It is 0-1. Ewell batting 118 with an RBI, just 2 hits in his 17 trips to the plate so far this season. Here's the 0-1 to him. That's taken low for a ball. And it is 1-1. Right, here's the 1-1 pitch. That's chopped foul behind home plate. Count goes to 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's going to be lined foul down the third base side. 1-2 to count to George Ewell. Here's the pitch. And he takes that off the plate away. And it'll be ball 2. And did not miss by much, that one. Right. Here's the 2-2. That's taken low for a ball. It's 3-2 now. 3-2 the count. Here's the payoff pitch to George Ewell. He's chopped that foul into the third base side, but it is caught there by the third baseman, and that will be the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the order, Mike McGarry, due up. In 1871, A.G. Spalding, a prominent figure in early baseball, joined the Boston Red Stockings, later the Atlanta Braves, as a pitcher. This was his first inaugural year of the National Association, the first professional baseball league via the Baseball Hall of Fame, Britannica, other sport. Yeah. Here's the first pitch to Mike McGarry. That is down and away for a ball. I just want to know. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's grounded over to short. On to first, and that is in time for the second out of the inning. You think historically the Philly Athletics won this year? I don't know. I did an offline save with the Troy Haymakers and won both seasons they existed. And then they got moved to Philadelphia, became the Philadelphia White Stockings, which in the game it's just Philadelphia Whites in the game. And then I think after that they move again, and I can't remember what they moved. I can't remember what they become after the Whites or the White Stockings move out of Philly. Right. That brings up Steve Bell in third baseman. He sacrificed his first at bat. He's 0 for 1 today. That counts as a fielder. That did count as a fielder's choice. That's a fielder's choice. That's an FC 1 4. Right, here we go. Steve Bellin swung on. He's popped that up. That's drifting foul down the left field line. And it does indeed fall foul. Here's the 0-1. Inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on. That's lined into right field. That's a base hit. Steve Bellin's aboard with a 2-out single. That's going to bring up catcher Cal McVeigh. He's 0 for 1, having reached via an error his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Throw over to first. And the runner is back in time. Throw over to first. And the runner is back safely. Here's the first pitch. Swung on. That's lined into right field. Drifting foul. And it lands foul. Here's the 0-1. Swung on. Popped up. Just behind home plate. And that'll be taken care of. And that will retire the side. No runs, one hit. They leave one aboard. We go to the bottom of the second. And it is currently 3-2 New York. Due up first for the Boston Red Stockings will be third baseman Joe Batten. I can't run the ad, so we're going to continue on. Here's the first pitch. Taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Swung on. That's lined right at the first baseman. And that's caught for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Asa Bernard, the pitcher. He's batting .238 so far this season. Here's the pitch. That's taken low for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Popped up. In foul territory. And the third baseman is over there to make the play. And that will retire Bernard. Top of the order now, Bub McAtee is back. He reached via single in the first inning. Also has a run for his troubles today. Needing to help Boston get a little bit more here in this bottom of the second inning. Here's the first pitch to him. Taken on the outside part of the plate. That's a called strike. And it is 0-1. Here's the pitch. That's taken inside for a ball. 1-1. The 1-1. Outside. Ball 2. And now it's 2-1 the count to Bub McAtee. Here's the pitch. That's grounded foul behind home plate. And the count is now even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the top of the third. The New York Mutual still leading here in Boston by a score of 3-2. Henry Burroughs will be the first batter up for the New York Mutuals, but we're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Welcome back. Top of the third here in Boston at the South End's ground. 10:43 in the morning. Henry Burroughs up to bat here. New York leading this by a score of 3-2. Asa Bernard ready to deliver the first pitch. That's going to be inside for a ball, and it's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. Called strike on the inside part of the plate. And the count is even at 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That swung on, popped up. Right back to the pitcher's mound. And coming over to get that is the shortstop. In fact, and that will retire the first out of the inning. That'll bring up pitcher Riney Walters. He currently popped up to first base his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. And that's way inside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's below the knees for a ball. 2-0 pitch to Riney Walters now. He swung on, hit that foul down third base line. 2-1 to Walters. That's taken high, ball 3. And Riney Walters has worked a hitter's count here, 3-1. Here's the pitch from Asa Bernard. That is inside, ball 4. And Riney Walters has drawn a 5-pitch walk. He is aboard here in the top of the third with 1 out. Baseball fan, if you're still here, are you a Yankees guy because you're from Philly? I mean, from New York. Sorry. Is that what it is? Do you originate from New York? Arndt Allison, due up the center fielder. Here's the first pitch to him. That's swung on, popped up. Right behind the pitcher's mound. Shortstop's in to grab it. And that will retire the second out of the inning. That brings up right fielder Charlie Pabor. He reached he had an RBI single his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. That's taken below the knees for a ball, 1-0. You also said that your teams are the Red Sox, Rays, and Houston. So I don't know if you're wanting the Yankees to beat the Twins because of Houston, or if you're a Yankees fan. Here's the 1-0. That's swung on, shot foul behind home plate. 1-1. That's taken away off the plate for a ball. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on, that's popped up. Drifting foul down the left field line. It will fall foul. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, fouled. The 2-2. That's fouled down the first base side now. Count remains 2-2. Here's the pitch. That's fought off again. 8th pitch of the at-bat. Here it is. The 2-2. Check swing. Did he go? Umpire says no over at third base. And now the count is full. 3-2. 2 outs. Runners will be going. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4. And Charlie Pabor's done well to fight that off and draw a 2-out walk. 2 aboard now here in the top of the third. That brings up Pete Donnelly, the shortstop. First pitch to him. That's taken off the plate away for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Called strike, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. It's a dropped ball. Nobody gets to advance on it. Catcher did well to block it. It's 2-1 now. Here's the 2-1. Inside and low, 3-1. And now Pete Donnelly has fought himself back to a hitter's count, 3-1. Here's the pitch. That swung on, lined right back through center field. It's a base hit. Walters will stop at third. Pavor goes to second, and Pete Donnelly's got a 2-out hit. Here's the first pitch that George Ewell swung on. He's lined that. That's drifted foul down the left field side. 0-1 to count. Called strike 2. And it's 0-2 to George Ewell. He popped up to third base his last at bat. Here's the pitch. That's taken low and away off the plate for a ball. 1-2. 1-2 to George Ewell. Inside, ball 2. And it's the count's now even. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on. That's lined right at the shortstop. And that gets Boston out of the inning. No runs on one hit, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the fourth. The New York Mutuals still leading by a score of, we go to the bottom of the third. The New York Mutuals still leading by a score of 3-2. Warren White will be the first man up for the Boston Red Stockings. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in 60 seconds time with more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Bottom of the third inning here at the South End Ground in Boston. New York Mutuals leading this by a score of 3-2. Warren White due up here. He had a ground out. He had a sack ground out his last at bat. So Riney Walters ready to deliver to him. Here's the first pitch. And that is taken inside for a ball, 1-0. One-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. And it goes to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Called strike 2. And it's 1-2. There's the 1-2 pitch. Popped up. Over to third base. And that'll be the first out of the inning. That brings up Tom Carey, the second baseman. He grounded out his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to him. Taken well inside for a ball. The 1-0. That's swung on down the right field line, and it just goes foul. Here's the 1-1. That's lined right at the shortstop, and that'll be gloved for the second out of the inning. Andy Leonard, the next at bat, the left fielder. Hit an RBI single his last at bat. Here's the first pitch. Called strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Taken inside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high, ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's taken away and below the knees, and it's a hitter's count now at 3-1. Andy Leonard, ready. Here's the pitch. That's swung on, and that's drifting foul down the left field side. It will go foul. Full count. Here's the pitch. Swung on, grounded foul. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and he rung him up. He's down looking on strikes. It's going to be a backwards K. 3 up, 3 down for Boston. We go to the top of the 4th. It's 3-2 New York. Due up first for the New York Mutuals will be first or second baseman Mike McGeary. Here's the first pitch to him. Well inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on. That's lined right up. Is that caught? That's caught. It's a line drive, a diving catch from the shortstop. And he makes the play and holds on. That brings up Steve Bellin, the third baseman. He had a fielder's choice and a hit. He's 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch. Taken off the plate for a ball. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Inside for a ball, 2-1 now. The third baseman, Steve Bellin. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's lined deep into center field, right at the center fielder. And that'll be the second out of the inning. That brings up catcher Cal McVeigh. He's currently 0 for 2, reaching via an error and popping up to the catcher. Here's the first pitch to McVeigh. That's popped up in foul territory, and the first baseman's right there to make the play, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 4th. 3-2 New York. Center fielder Al Reach will be due up first for the Boston Red Stockings, but first we're going to take, I can't even take, the last 2 half innings have gone so quickly, I can't even take the 60-second break, so we're going to keep rolling through. I'm back after eating dinner. What I miss? Nothing. When did you leave? Because I'll run you through. I have the scorecard, my friend. So if you want to know if you want to let me know where you left off, I'll run you through all the action. Right. Al Reach is due up for Boston. Here's the first pitch to him. That's below the knees for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Off the plate away, 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's swung on, lined into left field. It's a base hit. Al reaches aboard with his second hit in the afternoon. So I was watching my hands, get ready to go eat dinner. Hit about hit rehydrate when you were going to take a drink of water, but my mom stopped me. Nice. I don't know. I did take some water. I did drink. You can see I got a 1 liter bottle, and I've drunk a little bit of it. But I don't know when. I don't know what inning you were in. Okay. Cheers. I don't know what inning you were in, but top of the third, New York loaded the bases, left them loaded. Bottom third was 3 up, 3 down, and top fourth was 3 up, 3 down. Now we got a runner on first here for Boston. And Tommy Beals is at the plate. He singled his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Tommy Beals. And he tries to bunt, but it's low and away, and it will be a ball. Interested. Yeah, I don't remember anyway. Twins lost is what's new. So who do you actually support? Because you said Boston, Tampa, and Houston are your teams, but then you're caring about the Yankees Twins game. And I don't know if you're caring about the Yankees Twins game because of Houston, or if you're caring about the Yankees Twins games because you're a Yankees fan, or you got me all confused. Right, here's the first pitch. That is a bunt back to the pitcher. Goes over. Oh, it's a throwing error by the pitcher. Oh, that's not good. Tommy Beals is aboard. Outreach goes to third, and it's an error on Riney Walters in the field. You want the Yankees to lose? I always want the Yankees to lose. They're the Yankees, man. If you're not a New York Yankees fan, you should by default want the Yankees to lose. Right, that brings up Henry Kohler, the catcher. He flied out the right field last at bat. It's second and third. Nobody out. Here's the first pitch to Kohler. Called strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is taken for a ball in the dirt. 1-1. 1-1, that's high. Ball 2. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on. That's popped up into center field. Should be enough to drive the run home from third. It will be an out, but it's going to be an RBI for Henry Kohler. The runner from third, that is Outreach. He tags up. And Boston has tied this game. That brings up Joe Batten, the third baseman. He lined out to the first baseman, his first at bat. Here we go with the first pitch. And that is taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Away for a ball. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lined right at the shortstop, over his head, base hit. Joe Batten's aboard. He's got himself a single. Stopping at third will be Tommy Beals. Asa Bernard will be the next batter, the pitcher. Here's the first pitch. That's called strike at the lettering. I thought that was too high, but that's a called strike. And it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 throw over to first. Back in time is the runner. Here's the 0-1. That's chopped right at the first baseman. Oh, it's an unassisted disaster for Boston. He lined right at the first baseman. He goes over to foul territory to make the catch. The runner went on first, and it's an unassisted double play by the first baseman. And that will retire the side. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the top of the 5th. This game is tied at 3. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Welcome back, top of the 5th here in Boston. Tie game. Henry Burroughs comes up to the plate for the New York Mutuals. And here's the first pitch to him. That's taken for a called strike. 0-1. Here's the pitch. Check swing, but it's in there anyway for called strike 2. Here's the 0-2. Grounded over to the shortstop. On to first, long throw, beats it out, and it's an infield single for Henry Burroughs to start the inning for New York. Ronnie Walters, the pitcher, will be due up. He is 0 for 1 with a pop-up and a walk. Here's the first pitch to him. He bunts it down. Throw over to first. Easy in time. And that'll be a sacrifice ground down. A sac bunt. And that gets Henry Burroughs over. See, that I did know because I'm from Philadelphia. So we do know that's like you can't be a proper Philadelphian if you don't boast about that fact at one point. Right, that brings up Art Allison, the center fielder. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a pop-up. First pitch to him. Taken for a called strike. The 0-1 pitch is high. Ball 1. Here's the 1-1. That's, it's a passed ball. Oh, it's a wild pitch even. And going to third on the wild pitch will be Henry Burroughs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Lined foul down the first base side. Here's the 2-2. That's lined foul down left field side. 2-2. Swung on, fouled. 7th pitch in the at-bat here. Here's the 2-2. That's popped up high in the infield. And the shortstop's over to make the play, and that'll be the second out of the inning. It's actually not a jersey. It's just a shirt. and it has the ball and it says "Dancing on My Own" because you know they use that song a lot. So it does have the Veterans Stadium vibe though. That's a good point. It does definitely give off that vibe. Thank you though. I appreciate that. 2 outs. Charlie Pabor's due up. He has a single and a walk so far today. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. The 0-1 swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's taken high and away for a ball. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Fouled down the first base side. Remains 1-2 now. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on. That's popped up right back at the pitcher's mound. He'll make the play, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. They leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 5th. This game is still a 3-3 tie. Due up first for the Boston Red Stockings will be Bub McAtee. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Off the plate away, and it's ball 1. Here's the 1-0. He takes that for a strike. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's taken well high. It's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 2-2. He checked his swing, but the umpire said he went, and it's 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Popped up. He got out in front of that one. Shortstop's over there. They'll make the play. That'll be the first out here of the bottom of the 5th. Good impression of umpire. Thank you. Thank you. Here's Warren White. He takes the first pitch away, and it's a ball. It's ball 1. I think the best impression I can give you, baseball fan, is one of a commentator. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is a called strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded over to shortstop. Good diving stop. Oh, to first. It's a bad throw. It's a bad throw. It's a really good stop, but it's a bad throw. An E6, actually, as well. On the diving stop, that will be Pete Donnelly with his first error of the game. And that puts Warren White aboard here with 1 out. Tom Carey will be the next batter. He is currently 0 for 2 with a ground out and a line out. Here's the first pitch. Check swing, but he didn't go. And that is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, grounded over to short. Over to second, they got him in time. And it's a fielder's choice for Tom Carey, but they do get the lead runner. Very good out to get, and it's 2 outs with a runner on first now. That brings up Andy Leonard, the left fielder, who's currently 1 for 2 with an RBI single, and he struck out looking. Tomothy, guys, I owe Blockbuster a shout out too. I'm sorry, Tomothy. Let me get you and Blockbuster both a shout out, man. How you doing, bud? Doing great, man. Guys, you know Football Manager is the main content we play here, so go give Blockbuster a follow. He's got a great save in Indonesia going. Here he is now playing FM24. He's a great streamer. Give him a follow if you're into the Football Manager side of our content. He had a stream earlier today. It was really nice actually as well. I thought he was going to get sacked in Indonesia, and thankfully he didn't. I'll give. I'm the odd player out here. Nah, definitely not, man. You're in all the Football Manager streamers chats, bro. I wouldn't say you're the odd player at all, my man. Timothy, have you seen the types of games I stream? Come on, man. I'm right there with you, my guy. Let's be real. I'll give you your shout out. Let's get through this at bat, Timothy, and then I'll give you your shout out because it's like a 60-second cooldown. So, right, this is Riney Walters. No, I'm sorry, this is Andy Leonard. Some games, not at all. Yeah, not all. Yeah, but I mean, just dig into my VODs, you'll see. That's lined right at the second baseman. And that is the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits. They leave one aboard. We go to the top of the sixth. And it is still a 3-3 ball game. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Right, we're back. Before we get back into the baseball, let's give Timothy a shout out. He just loves his cars. I don't blame him, man. I used to play Forza games like that all the time, man. All the time. So if you like cars and you like Forza, give him a follow. Here he is playing Forza Horizon 5. Timothy, great guy to talk to. What the fuck? I genuinely thought you were going to get absolutely wrecked by that tractor trailer in that race. Nice. Very nice. For more crazy clips of the racing like that, give Timothy a follow. If anything, his landscaping ability is unmatched in Forza Horizon. Right. We go to the top of the sixth here in Boston. New York Mutual's tied with the Boston Red Stockings 3-3. Pete Donnelly due up first here in the sixth for New York. Donnelly is 1 for 2 with a single and a flyout. You want the backstory to that clip, Benny? Go ahead and tell it, my man. Here's the first pitch. That is grounded right in front of home plate over to first in time, and that is the first out of the inning. That'll bring up George Ewell, the first baseman. He's 0 for 2 with a pop-up and a line-out. First pitch to Ewell. That's taken low for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed, and it's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, grounded over to... Oh, it's a fielding error on the shortstop. And Ewell's aboard via an error. That is Warren White's second error of the game. That'll bring up Mike McGarry. He's 1 for 3 with a single. Here's the first pitch. That is below the knees for a ball, 1-0. There's a mode on Forza Horizon called Tours. 3 races of a service type and a card type if people don't know. Okay. Here's the 1-0. That is below the knees again for a ball, 2-0. Here's the 2-0. Taken for strike 1. 2-1 pitch. Bunted down the third base side. Third baseman comes over onto first, and he's got him in time. That will move George Ewell over into scoring position. But there's 2 outs now, and that brings Steve Bellin to the plate. He is currently 1 for 3. Here's the first pitch. That is a ball inside, 1-0. Okay, so there's a mode on Forza Horizon 5 called Tours. 3 races of a service type and a car type. In that particular set, it was heavy hitters and cross country. Heavy hitters were basically means like, yeah, cars over a certain weight. Track, you know, yeah, like that guy. The trailer, essentially. .100th pitch from Astor Bernard is fouled off. It'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside. Ball 2. Here's the 2-1. That's lined right into the gap between first and second. And aboard is Steve Bellin. That's his second single of the afternoon. And that is runners on the corners now with 2 outs. Another loss for the Rockies, the worst baseball team in the game. They are having a historically bad season, actually. It's insane how bad they are. Oh, nice. Nice. You got drawn with a very dirty driver, so you lured him in and got your own back. Nice. The crazy thing is the Rockies are the worst team in baseball, one of the worst teams in baseball in history right now, and yet they still walked off, what was it, like 17-16 versus the Pirates just about a week or 2 ago? That game was pure madness. Brings up Cal McVeigh. He is 0 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch. Called strike, 0-1. Here's the second. There's the 0-1 pitch. That is down low for a ball, 1-1. What decade is it? Is the 16th of May in 1871. Here's the 1-1. That is high for a ball, 2-1. Which is the very first year professional baseball took place in the United States. 2-1 pitch. That's grounded over to first in time. And that will retire the side. 6-3 on the putout. No runs on 1 hit. And they leave 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-2. I'm sorry, 3-3. Wow, but yeah, baseball's been going that long. Yeah, the first professional baseball league in the United States was 1871. It ran up until 1899. Not it wasn't that they won. They were winning 8-2. They scored 9 in the opening inning. They scored 9 runs in the first inning, and they didn't win the game. Yeah. And then around 1900, you get Major League Baseball, which is the first professional sports league in the United States, that still exists today. So 1901 is MLB. Sorry, yeah, 1901 was Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball is still going today. So it's the oldest professional sport in the United States. So when people say like baseball's very weird, like especially non-Americans or non-Canadians, when they look at it and go, baseball's very weird, baseball's very strange. Yes, it's as weird and as strange as football can be over in England because it's been going that long. So, Field of Dreams is great, but there's a lot of good baseball movies. Moneyball's really good. Major League is really good. Uh, Angels in the Outfield is really good. Sandlot is one of my favorites. Sandlot's a great movie. Uh, right. Oh, I got plenty of time. Okay. Let's get going with the bottom of the 6th. I tried Moneyball and couldn't watch it fully. If you don't understand baseball, you might struggle to get through that movie. So that I understand. This is Al Reach, the center fielder, up the bat. He's got 2 singles so far today. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is swung on right over towards second base. On to first in time, and that'll be the first out of the inning. That's fair. That's fair. Tommy Beals is the next batter. He's 1 for 2 so far today. The game says he's 1 for 1, but it was an error on the pitcher that led to him to get a board on a sac bunt. So I am going to record that as 1 for 2. Right, here's the first pitch. That is lined right. Oh, that's an error. Another error. E6. That is Pete Donnelly's second error of the game now. And Tommy Beals is aboard. That'll bring up Henry Kohler, the catcher. He's 0 for 2 with an RBI. Here's the first pitch. That's a called strike. Over to second. Safe at second base is Tommy Beals. He's stolen second base. Here is the 0-1. That's taken for a ball. 1-1. Field of Dreams, Kevin Costner, If You Build It, He Will Come. Cornfields, Iowa, White Sox, Yankees both played their first time ever in MLB movie set. Also, Reds, Cubs. I know that they actually constructed a second baseball field they actually play the games on because the original they want to preserve for the history of the movie because the movie was so popular. Even overseas, the movie is very popular. So people come from all around the world to visit the Field of Dreams, which is amazing to me. But they wanted to preserve that as like a tourist attraction and like obviously the original movie set. So they built a second actual baseball field that they play on. Right, here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Here's the 1-2. That is taken below the knees for a ball. 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That's lined into right field, right at the right fielder, and he will make the catch. Second out of the inning. That brings up third baseman Joe Batten. He's 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch grounded over to short. On to first in time, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits. They leave one aboard. We go to the top of the 7th inning. It is still 3-3. Got it so teams play on a different field, similar Field of Dreams set, but you still have grass sticks in the outfield and classic manual scoreboard in the outfield. Yeah. I love the fact that some ballparks still have the manual scoreboard. I think that's such a great feature, you know. And I love that they employ somebody to do the scoreboard for them. Right. We're going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Welcome back. Top 7th here in Boston at the South End grounds. Time is 11:50 a.m. in the game. Three innings left, tied 3-3 currently. New York Mutuals up to bat. And leading off will be Henry Burroughs, the left fielder. He is 1 for 3 so far today. Asset Bernard still on the mound here for Boston Red Stockings. I'm still in my OOTP 1901 season. Do all the games of that season historically accurate. All scores. I manage all the baseball teams with exact lineups, pitching rotations. I had the schedule if the game in real life didn't happen. Nice. That's actually insane, the amount of research you have to do for that. I'm kind of interested in like a rewriting history. That's why we started this. But I don't. Allow me to actually introduce myself a little bit, baseball fan. I used to commentate Counter-Strike. And actually there's some old clips on my YouTube of the Counter-Strike I used to commentate, right? So I decided to combine my love of commentary and my skill in commentating, my love of baseball, and out of the park into one, right? So, and do like a rewriting history as we watch the seasons play out different to how they did IRL. This is my very first out of the park baseball game. I've never played the series prior to this game. So far I'm loving it. It's been great. It's been fantastic. Right. First pitch to Henry Burroughs. He lines that right over the head of the first baseman, and Henry Burroughs is aboard with a back-to-back hits now for him. Patwitz, hey, let me give you a shout-out, my guy. BMOC as well. I got to give you a shout-out, too. Welcome in, Chuck. How are you? How are you, Pat Witz? Right, if you guys aren't already following the great Pat Witz, he's picked up playing Apex on stream recently, actually, and he's pretty damn good at it. So if you want to see some great Apex play, definitely give him a follow. He is the Philippines' greatest streamer. He's helped us turn around the Gimpo save as well, by the way. We wouldn't have been able to do what we're doing now in the longest save without his help. It is Pat Witz. Give him a follow, man. I'm okay. How's the OOTP? Great. I suck at it. I really suck at it, Chuck. But you know what? It's a lot of fun. If you want more information, it's exclamation point OOTP. I'm not even good at any game. You're good enough at Football Manager. You helped me turn around the season, bro. Let's get in with this at bat, and then I'll give you your shout out, Chuck, that you very much deserve, my man. I hope you're doing well, bro. So I know you said you're okay. I'm just saying, in general. That brings up Randy Walters, the pitcher. He is currently 1 for 2. It says 0 for 1 today, but I have Randy Walters popping out in the first inning. Oh, yeah, he is 0 for 1, actually, because he popped out, he drew a walk, and then he had a sac bunt. I tried playing OOTP, the old version. I can't understand a thing. I just hit and run bases. Hell, I'm a bit frustrated to even get the Nicholas State job. Oh, which version you played? Yeah, which version did you play? Here's the first pitch to Randy Walters. That is a ball, 1-0. There's the 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, that's fouled. But I have another interview lined up soon, so I'll go for that. Nice. A 1-2 pitch is taken for a ball. 2-2 now. Good luck. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck, man. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's lined right back through the center. It's another base hit. And now back-to-back hits for New York. Randy Walters will be aboard with a single. Out of the park has always fascinated me. The historical accuracy and research that they've done to allow you to do what you can do is insane. It's insane, the level of detail that Out of the Park has. By the way, baseball fans, since you're a long time, well, I don't even know if you're a long time, but since you have experience playing Out of the Park, I actually have a question for you, right? In Football Manager, it looks way better now. Nice. Didn't think it went as far as this. I usually just seen the spreadsheeting. Yeah. I do every pitch. 2016, I think OOTP Go 2016 was canceled, or it was called Baseball Manager at the time. And it's amazing how you can play all the seasons all the way back to 1871 now. Yeah. The question I had, baseball fan, about OOTP is, in Football Manager, I can have chat members redeem things that allow me to edit players, and they can edit attributes and things like that, right, to make the players better. Can you do the same in a historical save? Can I actually go into historical save and rename Tommy Beals? Can I actually go into the historical save and up his arm or his contact or his power or his base running or his speed? Is that actually possible? I think you can do that with edit player. Okay. Because if that's the case, then I think the FM redeems I'm going to have, or that I have now, where you can rename a player and you can up a player's attribute and you can do whatever, you know what I mean, that I have in place for Football Manager, I might bring those type of redeems over for Out of the Park baseball. So 1871, yeah. In OOTP, I'm not sure about Football Manager. I'm saying we can do that in Football Manager. Like, if you look at my channel rewards, we already can do that now in Football Manager. Football Manager allows you to edit anything. Absolutely anything. I can edit names, date of birth, city of birth, anything I want on a player. I wanted to see if I could do basically the same thing with historical seasons and Out of the Park. You know what I mean? Can Bob McAtee become Blockbuster, for example, and then can Blockbuster can I manually adjust up and down his defense, his speed, his arm, his catching, all that stuff. So, because if I can, then I'll look into what I can edit, and I'll start to build channel rewards based on what we can edit in Out of the Park. That way, viewers can actually start to alter the history themselves the way if they want to. I would think that would be a neat way to do it. Right. But yes, Chuck, 1871. We are in 1871. You are watching the New York Mutuals at the Boston Red Stockings. Yeah, you can definitely look into OOTP development talent if you're stuck. Okay, I definitely will. So we're in the South End grounds in Boston, Massachusetts. It's 11:52 in the morning, and it is the top of the 7th between these two. These are all historically accurate players right now. That played in the 1871 season. It's the 16th of May, 1871 in our save. New York Mutuals came in. They're 3-1. They are the National League leading 3-1 New York Mutuals. They are playing the American League leading 5-2 Boston Red Stockings. So it's a battle of the Titans here right now in the early part of the season. Right, we've got Allison up, Art Allison. He's going to take a ball on the outside. I thought they were on the afternoon day games because stadium back then didn't have light. Yeah, but like you would also have light at 10 a.m. in the morning. I think first pitch was 10:05. So here's the 1-0 to Art Allison. That's lined into left field. It's another base hit, and it's 3 straight base hits for the New York Mutuals. That loads the bases. That makes sense. Yeah. So. Asa Bernard in a jam here. Bases loaded. Nobody is out. That brings up Charlie Papor, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. First pitch, that's fouled. Here's the 0-1. That is taken outside for a ball, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on right at the shortstop, and that's at least the first out of the inning. Bernard is brainless right now. Get it together, dude. Double player strikeout. So are you doing a save or just letting things happen? I am mainly letting things happen. I am managing the Rockford Forest Cities, but I'm not playing the games. I'm not managing the games either. I'm letting the AI take over the games, but I manage the front office and all the transactions for the Rockford Forest Cities. We've had a pretty horrible season. I think we're 2-4, if I remember correctly. So, but every calendar day that there is a game, we're going to pick up the mic and commentate. So, like, even though we don't manage either of these teams, we're going to pick up the mic. Here's the first pitch to Pete Donnelly, and that's inside for a ball, 1-0. Director of football mode would be amazing. That is definitely possible here with Out of the Park. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's away for a ball, 2-0. Bases loaded, 1 out, 2-0 count. Here's the pitch to Pete Donnelly. Swung on, grounded, foul. Hitters count not good, 2-1. And he's taking a ball outside, ball 3. It's a hitter's count now, 3-1. Here's the pitch. That's lined right at the... Oh, he's dropped it. No, it's an error on the right fielder. Can you believe it? Or on the third baseman, sorry. Can you believe it? Burrows comes in to score. Walters goes to third. Allison makes his way to second. And it's an error on the third baseman, Joe Batten. It's his first error of the game. And it gives the New York Mutuals the lead here, 4-3. Right. That brings up George Ewell. First pitch is dropped. It's a but blocked in front of the plate. Ball one. Here's the 1-0. That swung on, lined into right field. Right at the right fielder who makes the play. And that is the second out of the inning. It wasn't hit deep enough for Walters to tag up. And so everybody remains on base. And now that brings up the top of the order. Mike McGeary, who's currently 1 for 3 so far today. McGeary with 3 RBIs on the season. A chance to add more. First pitch to him from Asa Bernard. Here it is. It's going to be just off the plate inside. 1-0. Defense very shaky for Boston right now. Good carry on ball and approach, and great arm leaves runner on third. Absolutely. Here's the 1-0. That is off the plate away. 2-0. Behind in the count is Bernard. Here's the 2-0. That's swung on, and that's into right field. And that's going to trap for a base hit. More runs will score. Walters scores. Allison will make it to third, but he cannot round to home plate. To second base will go Pete Donnelly, and it's an RBI single for Mike McGeary. Steve Bellin, the third baseman, will now step in. He is 2 for 4 so far today. Fielder's choice, a flyout, and 2 singles. First pitch to Bellin. That's taken for a called strike. And it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Outside, ball 1. 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. That's swung on, popped up. Right at the pitcher's mound. Shortstop stepping in. He'll make the catch. And that finally retires the side. 1 run on 4 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It is 5-3 Boston. We are going to step away. I love commentating too on my OOTP Go 26-2 1901 season bonus. The Flying Dutchman Wagner is going to play soon in your game. Nice. I mean, it's going to take us a while to get to 1901, but you know. Right. We're going to step away, get up, stretch the legs because it's 7th inning stretch time here in Boston. Which means it's time to enjoy a time-honored classic here in America, which is Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be right back. big thank you to Harrison Scheckler for that rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It is 7th inning stretch time here in Boston. New York leading on the road here by a score of 5-3. Due up first for the Boston Red Stockings will be pitcher Asa Bernard. Yeah, nice, yeah. That is, he is currently 0 for 2, lining out into an unassisted double play in his last at-bat. That was back in the 4th inning, for those that remember. Here we are in the 7th now. And we've got ourselves quite the game here. So, Asa Bernard steps in. First pitch is a ball high, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's going to be taken for a strike, 1-1. Ronnie Walters ready to deliver the 1-1 pitch. That is inside, ball 2. And it is 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Grounded right back to the mound. Over to first. And it's a throwing error by the pitcher. And Ronnie Walters gives up an error. And Asa Bernard is aboard to start the inning. That is the second error this game by Ronnie Walters. New York Mutuals later became the New York Football Giants, then decided baseball was their game and moved to San Francisco afterwards. No, I'm just teasing. Let's learn some baseball from Mr. Benny. I don't even know all the rules. Baseball's that's complex a game. But if you have questions about baseball, Leo, I would be more than happy to answer them for you. That brings up Bub McAtee, top of the order now. He is 1 for 3. He has a pop-up, a single, and a strikeout. Here's the first pitch. And, he's hit by the pitch. Oh, he was hit by the pitch. And he is aboard. And Asa Bernard goes to second base. That is a nightmare of a start in this inning. Threw the ball to him like what happened? He hit him. He got hit by the pitch. So if you're hit by the pitch, you get first base for free. It's automatically first base. So the commentary does come up here in this section. So we'll eat that. Hit by pitch, runner scoring position, no one out. Yeah. Oh, the throw is a pitch. Yeah, each delivery to the plate is called a pitch. So if you hit the batter, then it gets recorded as hit by the pitch, and the batter goes to first base. Right, first and second, nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Here's Warren White. He's going to step in. That's going to be hit. That's going to be foul. It's going to drift foul. Okay, after hospital. Yeah. That's a foul ball. So, Warren White, he's currently 0 for 2 so far today. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And he's tried to bunt that, but he's missed the bunt, and that will be strike number 2. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, that's grounded, foul. It remains 0-2. You're the Boston reporter of 1871 of my game. You're more than welcome. They are the home team, so that's lined into right field. That's a base hit. Down, it's going to fall. Oh, it's an error as well. The right fielder makes the fielding error, and that's going to score a run. It will be recorded as a single with an E9 on top of that pushes Warren White, allows Warren White to take second. Bub McAtee will move over to third, and Asa Bernard will come around to score. Getting credited with the error will be right fielder Charlie Pabor. And Boston has got a run back. It's now 5-4. That puts 2 runners in scoring position now. Nobody out. And Tom Carey is at the plate. He is 0 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch to Carey. That's grounded right at short. The throw home is safe. No, is he out? He's safe. He is safe. They went for the play at home. He is safe. And Tom Carey is aboard via fielder's choice. The attempted throw to home does not pay off. They cannot stop the runner from scoring. And just like that, Boston has tied this game. Runners on the corners now with nobody out. Tie game. And Cal McVeigh will Andy Leonard will step in. He is 1 for 3 with an RBI single, a line out, and a strikeout. First pitch to Leonard. That's inside for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. Swung on. That's in the right field. That's going to be a base hit. And Boston, for the first time in this game, has taken the lead. They've trailed the entire game since the first inning, when the New York Mutuals hung 3 in the top of the first. Boston has been trailing the game, and now in the bottom of the 7th, they've taken the lead, 6-5. That'll bring up Al Reach, the center fielder. He is currently 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a ground out. Runners on first and second, still nobody out. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's grounded foul behind home plate, and right now the hitter is in a hole, 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Taken off the plate away for a ball, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. Popped up, or lined out into center field. Making the catch as the center fielder, and that will be the first out of the inning. They do need to get more insurance on the runs. New York has definitely pressed them. A reminder as well, New York managed to load the bases in the 3rd inning without bringing anybody home. They also got a man on 3rd in the 6th inning, and they weren't able to bring him home. Here's the pitch to Tommy Beals. That's popped up over the first base side, and the first baseman will be there to make the catch, and that retires the 2nd out of the inning. Henry Kohler will step in. He is 0 for 3 with an RBI. 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the first pitch. That's taken for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Below the knees for a ball, and it's 1-1. Yeah. Here's the 1-1. That is, he tried to jam him, but it's hit well into the gap in right center field. They might get their insurance runs, Boston. The throw comes in, but it's a double. The first double from any team in the game, from either team in the game so far. And it's an RBI double. Coming home to score from second base will be Tom Carey. Andy Leonard will be held up at 3rd. And Boston have added a 2nd run of insurance, 7-5 now. That'll bring up Joe Batten, the 3rd baseman. He's 1 for 3 with a single, line out, and a ground out. Runners in scoring position, and 2 outs here. Here's the first pitch from Ronnie Walters. That is going to get away. It's a ball. It's a passed ball. The catcher can't stop it. And then coming in to score will be Andy Leonard. And Henry Kohler will go to third. Now, I'm going to stop here real quick because if Leo the Mitsala is still here, he might not understand what a pass ball is. Essentially, if a pitch is thrown and the catcher is deemed that it is deemed by the person, the official scorer, so there's somebody paid by Major League to score the games. If a pitch is thrown and it's deemed that the catcher should have caught the pitch or stopped the pitch, and he doesn't, and a run scores or a runner advances base because of it, it's called a pass ball. If the pitcher throws a pitch and the catcher has no shot in hell of catching it, like it goes way over their head, it goes way to the right, it's called a wild pitch. Essentially, they just they mean the same thing. Runners can advance on a pass ball or a wild pitch. It's just however the scorer judges who was at fault for creating the play that allowed the runners to advance base. That's all. Right. Here's the 1-0. That is another pass ball. No way. It's a wild pitch this time. When the catcher catches ball but misses, goes to the backstop, wild pitch. Usually the dirt catcher can't make the play. Yeah, exactly. If the catcher is adjudged to be in a position where he should make a play to stop a ball from going to the backstop or running away, then it's called a pass ball. If the catcher has no chance of making a play to prevent a ball from going to the backstop or flying in a different direction, then it's called a wild pitch. This one was a wild pitch, and it allows Henry Kohler to come home and score. And Boston has put a 6 spot up in this 7th inning. A pass ball and a wild pitch has allowed Boston to clear the bases. Here's the 2-0, and that's a called strike. Here's the 2-1. That's grounded over the third. On to first in time, and that retires the side. 5-3 on the putout, but it's 6 runs on 3 hits, and they leave nobody on. We go to the top of the 8th. It is 9-5 Boston. We are going to take a quick 60-second timeout. We'll be back with more in just a minute. Welcome back. Top 8th here in Boston. It's noon in the game. And the New York Mutuals trail for the first time in this game. 9-5. They need to find a way to get back into this one. It'll be Cal McVeigh leading things off for them here in the top of the 8th inning. McVeigh, he's currently 0 for 4 in this game. First pitch to Cal McVeigh. That's below the knee. That's in the dirt for a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's taken for a called strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on. That's lined into left field. That's a base hit. And Cal McVeigh starts any potential comeback that New York wants here with a leadoff single. That'll bring up Henry Burroughs, left fielder. Here's the first pitch. That's going to be grounded over to short. On to second for one. On to first in time, and they got the double play. 6-4-3, double play. And just like that, New York's leadoff runner gone, and now 2 outs. That brings up pitcher Riney Walters. He's 1 for 3 with a single and a walk. Here's the first pitch. I'm sorry, he's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. And that is taken outside for ball 1-0. A Boston reporter likes it. They would. I'm sure the fans do too in Boston. That's a 1-0 pitch taken for a strike, 1-1. I'm surprised I didn't hear the fans more often. Although, to be fair, they did say the attendance is kind of low for this game because it's a morning game on the afternoon. And thankfully, Windows can actually allow me to go back to 1871. And no, it can't. I can't even go back that far in my Windows clock. So I couldn't tell you what day of the week it is. In Philadelphia, honestly, you can be the reporter whatever you want, man. I'm loving it. Here's the 1-1. Though I think for the immersion, it could be the home team, right? Every time. That is going to be popped up to first base, and that will retire to side. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. We go to the bottom 8th, and it is 9-5 here in Boston. Due up first for the Boston Red Stockings will be Asa Bernard, the pitcher. Bernard is 0 for 3 so far today. Here's the first pitch. That's a check swing. Did he go? First base umpire says no, he didn't. And that will be ball 1. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1 and 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1 to Asa Bernard. That is lined right at the shortstop for the first out of the inning. That brings up Bub McAtee, the first baseman. He is currently 0 for 3. I'm sorry, he's 1 for 3, but a single and a strikeout. He also popped up and was hit by the pitch. Here's the first pitch to him. That's grounded over to second. On to first, and it's a throwing error from the second baseman. And Bub McAtee is aboard on an E6. That is Pete Donnelly's 3rd error of the game. That brings up Warren White, the shortstop. He is currently 1 for 3 with a single and a pop-up. First pitch is well inside for a ball. Riney Walters' 100 pitch. That is grounded back foul. 1-1. Yeah, in 1871, back in the day, didn't even have box score replays. Very fainted team photos. Wow. They didn't even have box scores back then. I wonder when scoring came into effect. Like, when did scoring start in baseball? Here's the pitch. That's lined right into the gap in center field. And that is a single here for Warren White. Bub McAtee will go to second, and now it's first and second with just 1 out. That will be the end of Riney Walters' night on the mound. He finishes with 101 pitches. He is responsible for the runner on first base. But that will bring in John McMullen. He'll take the mound. This is his first appearance for the New York Mutuals this season. Here's the first pitch of the season for John McMullen. And that is a called strike over the third. And he is safe at third. It's a double steal. A very risky double steal, but it works off to perfection. Post-Civil War era baseball. You want to know something interesting, baseball fan? The high school that I went to was built prior to the Civil War. I went to a high school that was actually older than the Civil War, and it's still in operation today. That's great. It's the second oldest high school in the nation, and it was built in 1861, which is 3 years prior to the start of the Civil War. Here's the 0-1. That's taken for a ball, 1-0-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That is outside, ball 2. And it's 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's swung on, grounded over to the shortstop. On to first. In time, it gets the runner, but it will be an RBI ground out. As scoring on the play will be Bub McAtee. Unable to move is oh, hold on. It might have been 1857. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm doing myself a disservice. The high school that I went to was founded in 1836, 189 years ago. So it's almost 200 years old. Right, you're right. 1861. I had 1861 in my head. That was the start of the Civil War. But yeah, 1836 was when it was first found. Was when the high school was first founded. So 189 years ago. I just had to Google it. Yeah, 1857 is pre-Civil War. Okay, that's before Mexican-American War, before Civil War, and the War of 1812. Yeah, mine was 1836. That's crazy. I did myself a disservice by not remembering the year. Right, here's the first pitch to Andy Leonard, and that's a ball. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. That's lined deep into left field. That's off the base of the wall. It's a base hit. It's going to be a double for Andy Leonard. An RBI double as Warren White will score. And that has made it 11-5 Boston. Here's the first pitch. Oh, he's hit the batter as well. He's plunked the batter. It's all gone Pete Tong here for the New York Mutuals. First and second, 2 outs now. Here's the first pitch. That's grounded over to first, and that'll be taken unassisted by the first baseman to retire the side. 2 runs on 2 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. They leave 2 aboard. We go to the top of the 9th, 11-5 Boston. W Stream, what's up, Deco? That's pretty old regardless, very historic. It's still in operation, and you students go there. I bet it still feels like 1836 in there. Also 1871, I think, is a great Chicago fire happened. Wow. The building, so the high school that I went to was in their 4th iteration of a building, meaning like they've moved 3 times. The place that they're currently at, they've been at since the 1930s. So the building is pretty old in and of itself. I mean, that's a 90-year-old building they're in now. The building that they were in back in 1836 when they were founded, I'm pretty sure no longer exists. Pre 1930s, when they moved to where they're currently at, which is in Logan, the Logan section of Philly. They were a little bit more downtown, and when they moved out, um, fuck, what's the name of that college? It's a college. Is it Holy Knight or Roman College? Roman High School? It might be Roman High School actually. But Roman, it's just known as Roman in the city, but it might be University Roman, not Rowan. Don't not Rowan is in New Jersey, but it might be Rowan, or I mean, sorry, it might be Holy Roman. Is currently in the building that they were in prior to their move out in the 1930s. So Philly's just an old city, man. Obviously, it's an old city, but yeah, it's got some crazy history like that. Um, but yeah, welcome in, Deco. Rowan, yep, in New Jersey, aka my New Jersey. Nice. Oh, you're in South New Jersey. I used to work. I work from home now, but my office is in far South New Jersey. It's in Oldman's Township. So no, North New Jersey. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, you're in North Jersey. Got you. Yeah, I work in very far South New Jersey. You're by NYC. Okay. If you see Pixelated Suits, he comes in here sometimes. He's a New York Red Bulls supporter. He's up by that way as well. He's a good dude. He's a very good dude. So if you ever want somebody that you can kind of familiarize with or get to know, yeah. Columbus. I don't think does Columbus play today. Hold on. I did not think Columbus played today. Does he know baseball? Yes, he does. He is a Yankees fan. Uh, so. Oh, you know what it was probably, Deco? Uh, it was. I think they played Leagues Cup. I think that was what they played was Leagues Cup. I wouldn't have known any better because I don't follow Leagues Cup and I don't care about Leagues Cup. But yeah, I think it was the Leagues Cup. Right. The ad break is coming, and I need to take a 60-minute timeout. So we'll be back with the top of the ninth in just a minute. Right, ninth inning here in Boston. It is 11-5 after a huge seventh inning from the Boston Red Stockings. And it is still Asa Bernard on the mound for the Boston Red Stockings. Due up first in this inning will be center fielder Art Allison. He is currently sitting at 2 for 4 so far today. He's got an RBI in this game. He's got 2 singles. He's got 2 pop-ups as well. Here's the first pitch to Allison. That is swung on and missed. 0-1. Fans had to wait for Boston to take the lead. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That is strike 2. 0-2. And fans anxious. They saw Boston go down early. They fought 2 of the 3 runs back, tied it up in the 4th. lost the lead in the top of the 7th and came roaring back in the bottom to take the lead. Here is the 0-2 pitch. That's inside, ball 1. 1-2 pitch is below the knees, 2-2. Even count. Here's the pitch for Massa Bernard.
Strike 3.
Strike 3. He struck him out. And down looking is Art Allison. It's the old backwards K. And that is the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Charlie Pabor, the right fielder, who's currently batting 1 for 3. He's got a single, a walk, a pop-up, and a line-out. Here's the first pitch to Charlie Pabor. Swung. He's lined that into center field. Under it's the center fielder. And that is Al Reach, and he makes the play. Right. New York Mutuals are down to their final out. It's Pete Donnelly. Here's the pitch. He's lined that over to second. On to first in time, and that is going to do it here, ladies and gentlemen. 3 up, 3 down in the 9th. We'll see the New York Mutuals fall to the Boston Red Stockings by a final score of 11-5. Boston Red Stockings are going to improve to 6-2 on the season. The New York Mutuals will fall to 3-2. Now it's time to do all of the fun calculations. Let's get the pens out. We're gonna tie up. We're gonna tally up the totals here. Mike McGarry. We'll start with the lineup for the New York Mutuals. By the way, Mike McGarry had 1 sack, 4 at bats. He had 2 hits. He also scored an RBI in the process. Steve Bellin, the third baseman, he went 2 for 5. He had 5 at bats. He got 2 hits. He scored 1 run. He also scored a stolen base. Cal McVeigh, the catcher, he finished he finished 1 for 5. He also scored a run. Henry Burroughs finished 2 for 5. He had 2 hits. He had 2 runs as well. Riney Walters, he finished 1 for 3. He had 3 at bats. He had 1 sack. He had 1 base on balls. He had 1 hit. He had 1 run. He also had 2 fielding errors. Art Allison is 2 for 5. 5 at bats. He had 2 singles. He had 1 RBI as well, and he struck out once as well. Sack is sacrifice play. Yes, sack is sacrifice play. Yep. Do you add each player's line score to your game log report each game? That's pretty cool. I score each game. So at the end of the game, I just go through and I score their totals. You know what I mean? Like you would if you were scoring any game. So I don't have a season total in this book, but I do tally up at least the game. Charlie Pabor, he finished 1 for 4. It looks like. So he had 1 hit, 4 at bats. He had 1 RBI, and he had 1 base on balls. He also had a fielding error. Pete Donnelly, 1 for 5. He had 5 at bats, 1 hit, and he had 3 fielding errors. And then finally, George Ewell, 4 at bats. He didn't score a single hit. Right, total at bats. My box score differs a little bit from this one sometimes. Tonight's going to be one of those nights it does. Total at bats for the New York Mutuals is going to be 4 and 5 is 9 and 14 and 19 and 22 and 27 and 31 and 36, and I have 40 at bats total for the New York Mutuals. Hits 1. Or is that run? Sorry, that's runs. Hits 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. I have 12, and they did do 12. Yes. Runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Those should be the same. Hits and runs should be the same as the game. Rays winning. What's your thoughts? I feel bad. I don't want to hate Oakland, but at the same time, I think it's a travesty they're moving, and I feel bad for baseball fans in Oakland, and I feel bad for that franchise. Um, Having said that, I'm sick of Las Vegas coming in and getting these rich owners that just throw money at these leagues and convince them to move teams. I think that's a disgrace, quite frankly. Right, 3 RBIs total for New York. Um, they had 2 base on balls. They also had 6 fielding errors. Uh, and they had 1 strikeout, and they had 1 stolen base. And that is that for. Oh, they also had 2 sacrifice plays. So, like, do I want to? Should I hate the A's? Yeah, it's pretty sad. I don't like Vegas move. I think Oakland was classic for many years. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know that they were the Philadelphia Athletics. I get that, and that's like even more classic. But like the history that Oakland made in Oakland is like insane. I mean, it's just insane. And for all of that to be gone now, I think is just a disgrace. You know what I mean? I think it's a disgrace. So, we will come back to do the. Oh, let me do the. Let me come back to do the pitchers, right? Yeah, Kansas City Athletics. But I mean, I don't know. It's just a disgrace. I can't. I just. Every time I talk about this, and there's people like Europeans or British people in the chat, they always say like, "Oh, it happened once over here, and the government vowed it would never happen again." And I'm like, I get that, but you also have English football clubs going belly up, like Morecambe, Sheffield Wednesday's in trouble. Look what happened to Bury. Look what happened to Chester. You know what I mean? Like all these clubs are in big financial trouble. Portsmouth, Leeds, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, um, even Macclesfield, and it's like they don't have the answer either. But I just think the relocation in the U.S. is disgraceful. I think it's just not a way to run sports leagues. But the dollar is king, right? Bob McAfee, 5 at bats. He has fuck. I just think the I don't I think with the Oakland situation, the biggest party to blame, I think, is the city of Oakland. Because that city has had time and time and time and time and time and time again had chances to sell the land, to allow the stadium to be built. It was going to be mostly privately funded, as far as I know, and they just dragged their ass on everything that they could, the zoning and all that shit, to force the baseball teams out. Yeah, the NFL's going out of there too. And I think that's a shame. You know what I mean? I think that city should not get in the way of its sports teams. The situation in England, I think, needs to be different because the situation in England with Morecambe that's going on right now, I know you're not a football fan, but if you bear with me, is the club is financially ruined. They're out of money. The club has no money. They've stopped all football operations, right? But the owner has had a consortium or a group of people that have been willing to buy the club and pay the club's debts off. And he does not like the offer from them, so he tried to sell it to a different group of people. The group that he tried to sell it to, the deal fell through. And the original group that he didn't like the offer from still wants to. They're not affected at all. No, it only affects Morecambe Football Club. But the group that the group that wanted to buy the club originally, that the owner that owns the club right now doesn't like the deal for, refuses to sell to them. And while he refuses to sell, the club has just gone bankrupt. So a lot of fans from the city of Morecambe have been left without a football club. They've got nothing. This club that's been around for 109 years is gone because one owner didn't want to sell to a consortium that was willing to buy the club and pay the club's debts off. And I think that's a big disgrace. And I think over there, they should be allowed to. You know how the U.S. has something called eminent domain, which basically just says the government can take your land. Um, if they fuel it for infrastructure project, the UK government should be allowed to eminent domain a football club if its owner is unwilling to sell and he cannot financially support the club's operations. I feel like that should become a rule over there. I'm sorry. Bob McAtee is not 1 for 5. He is 1 for 4. He had a hit. He was hit by the pitch. That was the problem. He scored 3 runs and he had a stolen base. And yeah, that's pretty sad. And the team got bankrupt. Yep. The owner refused to sell. The club ran out of money, and the owner still refuses to sell. So this 109-year-old football club just goes defunct because they can't afford to operate anymore. And all the fans that have been season ticket members for years, decades, citizens of Morecambe and been going to the football their whole lives, it's taken away from them. So, right, Warren White, he finished 1 for 4. He had a hit. He had 2 runs. He had a stolen base. He had a sacrifice play as well, and he made 2 fielding errors. Yeah. Yeah, lost all the money. Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. Tom Carey, he is 0 for 5. He finished 0 for 5 with a run and an RBI. Also made a fielding error. Andy Leonard. What a game from him. Andy Leonard finished 3 for 5. He scored 2 runs. He scored 2 RBIs, and he struck out looking once. Al Reach, he finished he finished 2 for 4. He had 2 singles. He scored a run. He was hit by the pitch, and he made a fielding error. Tommy Beals. Beals finished 1 for 5 with a single. He also had a stolen base. Henry Kohler finished 1 for 4. He had a run, and he had 2 RBIs. Joe Batten finished 1 for 4. He had a single. Asa Bernard finished 0 for 4, and he had a run. And Joe Batten, by the way, made a fielding error as well. Right, so total at-bats for the Boston Red Stockings: 4, 8, 13, 18, 22, 27, 31, 35, 39. Total hits: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10. They have 11. Where did I go wrong? Where did I go wrong? 1 hit here. 1 hit here. 1 hit here. 1, 2 hits here. 1, 2, 3. I have 3. Oh, I didn't write, but he didn't get a hit. He didn't get a hit. 1 hit here. Oh, 2 hits. 2 hits for Warren Wright. That's where I went wrong. 2 hits for Warren Wright. So yeah, 11 hits total. Runs: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Strikeouts: 1. Yeah. Oh, strikeouts 2. I'm sorry, Bug McAtee had a strikeout. I didn't record that. So strikeouts 2, stolen bases 2, 3. 3 stolen bases because they had the steal and then the double steal. Doubles. How many doubles did they hit? Any doubles? I think the double was on the other side. I could have sworn there was a double that was hit. There was a double that was hit. 1 double. I thought there was a second double. 2 doubles, yep. I was right. 2 doubles. No base on balls for Boston. And they made 5 fielding errors. And sacrifice plays 1. RBIs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ribbies. Right. Pitching stats. I do need the game's help with pitching stats. In OOTP, go 26. OOTP 26. Oh, or you can read it. Wait. You can also. Hold on. Whoa. Okay. I was like, why won't it let me scroll? You can also edit recap. That would be nice if you can edit it if you want to. No, okay. I didn't know if you can edit. Oh, right here. Edit recap. Okay. That is sick. I didn't know that. I'm just going to run through the pitchers real quick. I need OOTP's help. I have 144 pitches for Asa Bernard. That is correct. No base on balls. 2 base on balls for Asa Bernard. Sorry, yeah, 2 base on balls because it's on the other side. 1K. How many hits? 12 hits. How many runs? 5 runs. Not a single run was earned by New York. New York literally he pitched 9 innings, no earned runs. All the runs were unearned because of errors. How about that? Right. Ronnie Walters, I have finished on 101 pitches. That is correct. He pitched how long? 7.1 innings pitched. That reminds me, the fucking game from the other night. I didn't even write the win-loss. Walters got the win. Harry Wright got the loss. Tonight, Asa Bernard got the win. Ronnie Walters gets the loss. Ronnie Walters, I have 101 pitches. No base on balls. No 1 strikeout. I think he has 2 Ks. Sorry, 2 Ks. Yep, 2 Ks. 10 hits. Runs earned. Runs were 11. Earned runs was 4. And then John McMullen pitched 0.2 innings pitched because he didn't need to pitch the 9th. Gave up 1 hit. Pitch count I have only 8. Yep. No base on balls, no strikeouts, no earned runs, and no runs. Right. Okay. The next game, Boston played much better in the later half of the game. Also, do you let viewers pick games you play next? I will let you it depends. And the reason I say it depends is because the next day, I think there's only 1 game. Yeah. So this is guaranteed to be the next game because it's the only game of the day. Right? So on the 20th of March, there's only 1 game. But on the 23rd of March, there's 2 games. I was going to do this game because I think we've only watched 1 Washington Olympics game. You know what I mean? And, we just watched Boston, so I don't want to watch Boston again. And that's kind of how I've been feeling it. But if you would like, baseball fan, I will let you pick the game for the 23rd of March. So you let me know. The 20th of March, we're doing no matter what. That's Rockford Forest City's Washington Olympics. We will do that game. But the 23rd of March, I will let you pick a game because I have it set on the stream schedule right now for next Monday. And I have the edit up. So I am ready and waiting for your choice, sir. You have the 1 and 2 Washington Olympics. Our team is not any one of these teams. So, is it 1 game? It's 1 game because they're both at the same time. So I can only do 1 game because they both take place at the same time. So if I go in to watch 1 game, by the time I come out, they are done. The other game is done. I came in, if I show you today, right? Both of these games were at the same time. We've watched this game. I've come out of this game, and this game is done. So the Troy Haymakers, 2-6, beating the Fort Wayne Kekiungas. So Troy goes to 2-6. Fort Wayne goes to 5-3. What's up, Picks? We can do your Philly Athletics. I picked the next date afterwards. Okay. We'll do the next date afterwards would be, we would have to do this game because I'm managing Rockford. So the next game, this would be the next day after that. FM got you annoyed? Yeah, same time at same place, yeah. So, but here's the thing. The other thing too, baseball fan, is I kind of want to at least progress a little bit. So even if it was like 3 games and are all at different times, I would just pick one for the day so we can have some progression in the save, right? Because it's only May, and we still have to get all the way through to like September. Let me know what happened in FM picks. Let me know what happened, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where you don't want to get bogged down um, too much on one day. So we'll do 1 game a day. Guaranteed 1 game a day. Just annoying transfer stuff. I get that. Right. Speaking of which, you still want your season to progress. So like even if they were different times, we would just pick 1 game out of all the games available on the day, and we would go through that, get through the years. Yeah, exactly. So the progress is slow enough. I don't want to slow it up anymore. Right. Let's take a look at the standings, and then I'll talk to you about when we're going to play out of the park next. Let's look at the standings after this game. The New York Mutuals will drop to 3-2. They are currently a half game back now of the Fort Wayne Kekiungas, who did actually lose. They lost to the Troy Haymakers. So Troy goes up to 2-6. Fort Wayne drops to 5-3, but the New York, failing to win against Boston, drops them a half game back in the National League. Chicago White Stockings are planted right in there at 1-1. We're 2-4 as well. In the American League, the Boston Red Stockings improved to 6-2, and they jump a game and a half ahead of the Philadelphia Athletics. Cleveland Forest Cities are sitting in 3rd place at 2-3. The Washington Olympics are 1-2. For those on YouTube, thank you so much for watching this on the replay. The next match that we are going to show you will be the 20th of May, 1871. It'll be our 2-4 Rockford Forest Cities looking for their first win on the road. They travel down from Rockford, New York to Washington, D.C. to face the Washington Olympics, who are 1-2. That is it for the recording. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video of our Out of the Park playthrough. Until then, take care.